Welcome to Disney A, the Canadian-themed Disney travel podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Krysta. You didn't point at yourself this time.
I didn't, because you keep making fun of me. So
I like that you pointed at yourself.
I'm self-conscious.
No, you are not. Okay. What are you drinking now, Brandon? Let's just jump to that.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit, and we're recording this right after our previous episode,
which are both being recorded in advance because we're going away.
we're being very proactive,
yes,
and recording episodes so while we're on vacation, you don't have to miss us too badly.
Exactly, because we'd miss you, and I'm sure you.
We always miss you, but. Yeah. We're gonna be pretty happy on vacation.
Yeah,
so,
we're lying on a beach right now, I'm sure, or by a pool or something. All right, so what are you drinking?
I'm still drinking a delicious peach gin concoction.
Right, and if you have no idea why we're saying things like still and...
Listen to our previous episode.
There you go, or the one before that, because we're doing these three pretty sequentially. A day in between.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so you're drinking a peach gin concoction. I'm still drinking my vanilla vodka with watermelon bubbly and BC cherry fruit cut up in it. Yay, yum.
Yum, yum.
Yum, yum.
An addition since last episode, I now have a cat in my lap.
You do. Hi, Ari. Ari is so named from Name of the Wind books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which are still not finished. Shake Fist, Patrick Rothfuss. But there is a new novella coming out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's if you've never read Name of the Wind, his little helper guy that's kind of like a demon bast. Yeah. So this, the first novella was based on Ari.
Yes.
And
that's you. Yes.
The second one that's coming out shortly is based on Bast.
Nice.
His helper friend.
That's really
the
cool.
Demon guy.
I do like Bast. I know Bast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm kind of excited for that. I would just really like
just finish the box.
Write the third book. Him and George R.R. Martin are just...
What are you doing?
Just giving me such consternation.
Nice word. Yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're recording this, do you have a new nerd thing, or are we just going to kind of go with, hey, we're on vacation?
My nerd thing is I'm going to consume roughly 10 tacos a day while we're in Mexico.
Oh, roughly.
That's my goal.
Yeah? That sounds dangerous.
Wow, I like to live dangerously.
Nice nerd thing. I like it. I'm going to read approximately 2 full books a day.
That's probably more likely than my 10 tacos.
Like on average, like some days might be 3 or 5. Some days might be 1.
I'm relaxing.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
There's this video of the first vacation we ever took together. Brandon had the video camera going, and he kept coming up and asking me questions while I was reading.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
What you doing? What you doing? I'm relaxing.
So yeah, it's a bit of an inside joke with us now, and
yeah, but it's accurate. It's totally accurate. What are we talking about this week, Brandon?
I don't know.
We're doing a deep dive.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Tell me about it.
So we did our first deep dive. Oh, wait. Deep dive. That was my deep voice.
Deep dive on the radio.
We did a deep dive on Superstar Limo, which was so much fun to do. And you had a great idea walking home from the brewery, which is, of course, when the best ideas happen.
Best ideas, yes. Shout out to our local brewery because it's a great place.
Yes. And your idea for the next deep dive was actually the Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes. So I had a couple ideas, and we just surpassed all of them and are doing this instead because I thought it was so fun.
I am the idea man.
If you, by the way, have ideas on what other deep dives you want us to do, you can kind of get our vibe here, right? We did Superstar Limo. We're now doing Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes. Let us know.
Random, specific, not e-ticket generally.
Yeah, no. We're looking for like
something
off the beaten path, or like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're looking for the cult classics.
Classics.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yes, perfect.
Since we're recording in advance, we don't have news, but we do have our news segment that we're doing all the time now, which is you called it the Better Know a Listener?
Better Know a Listener, yes, that's what we're calling it now.
I love it. All right. Better Know a Listener In this, Brandon looks up when we see where our listeners are from, he looks up a specific town and tells me something about that town. So what do you have this week, Brandon?
Well, this week, we're getting kind of close to Mexico because we're going to Mexico. Mm-hmm. This is Gulf Breeze, Florida. Florida. Okay. Yes, this is northern Florida. So you know how Florida like kind of hangs down. Orlando's down here, and Tampa goes down here, and Miami's like down at the southern tip. Mm-hmm. Gulf Breeze is actually up on the northern side, more closer to New Orleans than anything.
Ooh.
But it's still in the Gulf of Mexico.
That's where dreams do come true.
And it's coastal town. It's kind of like a kind of strip of land, and there's some bridges to it and stuff like that.
Are you purposely just picking coastal towns all the time?
It just so happens that's where our listeners are from, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Gulf Breeze is home to the Naval Live Oaks Reservation for experimenting with acorns for the cultivation of live oaks. It was a very important spot for shipbuilding back in the Civil War when they used oak for shipbuilding.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, there's big oak trees, which is weird because it's like,
that doesn't
it's
seem
kind of like a peninsula in the middle of the ocean. I don't know. It seems like a kind of cool place. I wouldn't mind visiting here. It looks...
So the cool thing about this is there's all these little well, not necessarily little, but all these places that like would never be on our list to visit, except you keep saying these cool things.
Cool,
and we're like, I want to see the live oaks, the big oaks.
Yeah, it was considered very strategically important in the Civil War because of the live oaks and like the location of it all. And
what is this place called?
Gulf Breeze.
Gulf Breeze. Okay,
and it's cool. It's
from
a cool
Gulf
name.
Breeze. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Gulf Breeze.
Hi, Gulf Breeze listeners. Nice to meet you. You should definitely message us if you're from Gulf Breeze because this sounds very cool.
Look at the map of this place. Like, does that not look cool?
Yes, but how are there big oak trees there?
It's just south of Pensacola.
Okay, but again, this does not look like a place strategically where there would be huge oak trees.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but...
Okay, also, if you are from Gulf Breeze, please send us pictures. Because I want to see the oak trees that look like in a place where there should only be palm trees.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, see how it's pretty close to New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama. Mobile. But yeah, Pensacola is the major center near it, and I don't know. Gulf Breeze. Cool,
fine. That looks really cool. Hi, Gulf Breeze.
Howdy.
Yes. And, you never know. If you're listening to us, maybe we'll pick your Better Know a Listener area next.
And if you want to rise up the ranks of a Better Know a Listener, tell your friends, all from the same city.
Yeah.
When there's more listeners, I might see it a little more.
It's kind of like up higher on the list then, right?
Yeah.
Or leave a review, especially on Apple Podcasts.
Exactly.
Because then that, tips us off a little bit.
Exactly.
Awesome.
This is fun. I like it.
This is fun. I do. This is such a cool idea you had. Let's head to the main topic.
Next up on NDR, New Disney Radio, a deep dive.
Speaking of cool ideas you had, it was your idea to start this whole deep dive. It's good. That's good. That's better, right?
That's a little better. Yeah.
A little better. Okay. Better.
I actually haven't heard the intro that I recorded for this, but I tried to do my best NPR voice.
Yeah, you did well. It was good.
It was okay.
It was all right. Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
We're talking Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes. And the reason I actually think that you like deep dive is I think you like the idea, and you also like it because I am the researcher.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. I don't know. I can just row, row, row your boat gently down the rivers of America.
Yeah, nice. To be fair, when we go canoeing, you are the power of the rowing, whereas I do help. But there's definitely...
I did once save your life in a canoe, so...
Well, I think you should tell the story.
Okay, so, once upon a time...
Once upon a time.
Along...
Oh, can we just pause for a second while you're once upon a timing here?
Sure.
Do you know what's probably going on right about now? Happy anniversary.
It's true that it is several days away when we're recording this, but when this comes out, it's basically our anniversary. July 18th of this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to set this to come out if it's going to be before or after, but happy anniversary.
Our 10th anniversary. We've been married for 10 years.
High five.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Most prison sentences are less.
But
yeah, I think we've done pretty good in 10 years.
So far.
It's pretty good.
So far.
Pretty good.
Why'd you get so high pitched there?
I don't know.
Okay, so once upon a time, no, it wasn't during those 10 years. It was before that.
Oh, it was long before that.
Yeah.
Long before that.
Okay. Well before those 10 years started.
Long time ago.
Canoes.
In this galaxy right here.
Yeah, not far away.
No, it wasn't far away at all. But we were fortunate enough to be invited along to a. My parents actually won a contest to go on a canoe trip in northern Saskatchewan.
And when they told me this, I thought they were lying because Saskatchewan is famous for just being like flat prairie.
Yeah. So if you've ever seen a map of Canada, Saskatchewan's the province that just it's a rectangle. I don't know. It's huge and flat and boring. I still like Saskatchewan. I was born there. It's a nice province.
It's all wheat fields and like.
Southern Saskatchewan is all farmland and wheat fields.
And that's all I knew about Saskatchewan until I went with you on this canoe trip.
It's also very tall because it's a long, tall rectangle. Mm-hmm. Up north, there's woods and lakes and rivers and things like that. And yeah, we went on a canoe trip up in northern Saskatchewan, and it was a 3-day canoe trip where you packed everything on your back, and we went fishing and
portaging,
and we pooped in the woods. And like the full, like, I felt like a voyageur.
Yep. That was very Canadian.
Very Canadian as well, yes. But it was very cool. And yeah, it feels like what they're trying to give us very, very, very small taste of with the Davy Crockett canoes.
Right. So if you want the authentic version of this, just come to Canada.
Go to northern Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. It's actually very beautiful up there.
It is. It's beautiful. Like it was incredible. You know what's really funny? You want another Disney reference here?
Sure.
So right before we went on this, I was in Disneyland.
You were?
Right before we went on this. Like, I bought the hat. I had to buy a baseball cap to wear on this trip so I didn't burn the heck out of myself. And I didn't own one. And while I was in Disneyland, I bought my Mickey Mouse baseball cap that I wear to this day, that I specifically bought on my last day at Disneyland because I was going to fly home, and in like 2 days I was going to leave with you to go on this canoe trip.
We flew into Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which sounds like a fake place. Unless you're very Canadian. And yeah, Saskatoon is the biggest city in Saskatchewan.
Than Regina?
Oh, it's way bigger than Regina.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then we rented a vehicle and drove up north. And I slept because I just got back from Disneyland.
It was a Hummer H3 with a sunroof.
I remember that it was a Hummer with a sunroof.
Yeah.
And I slept because I just came back from Disneyland. But yeah, that's fun. It was Disneyland.
It was quite the trip. Anyway, yeah, canoes.
Canoes.
So we have a little bit of experience with canoes.
We're very Canadian, and I was a Girl Guide. I canoed a fair bit. Nothing like that trip that we did, mind you, but I had gone canoeing a few times. Okay.
And so on this canoe trip, going back to the story that I was trying to tell about how I saved your life, on the end of the 3-day trip, we were canoeing across one of the bigger lakes that we were on, because we had portaged across rivers and lakes and several times. And we were on the bigger lake, and we were supposed to meet up with the people that were going to pick us up in the vehicles. But a storm was brewing.
Yes.
And there was like a thunderstorm picking up, and the wind was howling, and the sky was dark, and it looked very ominous.
And we got some waves going.
And the chop started on this lake, and
I get motion sick.
You get motion sick, and you kind of froze up. And I was like,
the exhaustion had set in for real at that point.
Well, yeah, we had experienced some rain, so you're not sleeping too well because you got like.
And I just came back from Disneyland.
Tense, and your feet are wet, and I don't know. We were roughing it for real. We had a guide that was making us good food, so you're not really roughing it, but it was still more realistic than maybe the Davy Crockett.
Definitely.
So we're on this lake, and I'm in the front, and I turn around. No, wait, you were in the front.
I was in the front.
You were in the front, and I see you.
The power's always in the back.
Yeah, that's good tip.
Yep.
Well, you need someone steering. So when you go on the Davy Crockett Canoes, bringing it back to Davy Crockett Canoes, you'll have a cast member in the front and a cast member in the back.
Correct. I'll talk about that, yeah.
One's steering and one's providing the power, basically. And that's all you need. Like, you basically, in those canoes, you don't even need to paddle
Correct.
as the guest. They could make it work. It's fine.
Our canoes were a lot smaller than those ones.
much smaller. But we're on this big lake, and the waves are picking up, and I can't see your face, but I can sense you like turning white as a sheet.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sure I did. I don't remember except being like not okay.
Yeah, you were not happy, and I was like, you know what? I can see the dock. It's a ways away, but I can see it, and we're gonna get there. Just hold on.
You literally said, I think you said, like, are you okay? And I was like, nope, or something. And you said, "Kay, just hold on." Or you're like, shut up and hold on. I got it. I got us, or something.
And I Pocahontas us up that.
You Davy Crockett us.
Yeah. I didn't have a raccoon friend, and I didn't have
a hummingbird friend,
or a raccoon hat, or anything.
No.
But I powered us to that dock, and I saved your life.
And you passed everyone else.
Oh yeah, I was going.
You were on a mission, and your mission was get Krysta to the dock.
At the end, the guys were like, "You were really going there at the end."
And you're like, "Yeah, I needed to get her to land." And it was literally, I was like, okay, I think you actually told me to get my paddle out of the water and just hold on, and I did, and you're like, I got us, I'll get us there.
Yeah, the adrenaline was pumping, and I made her go.
Yeah,
so
it was very nice. Thank you for saving my life. And saving, I kept lunch down and everything, which is not always. Yeah, every once in a while there's like these stories that stick out, and that was one of them where I was like, you looked at me and you're like, you have reached your limit.
Yeah.
And that was it right there, and then I got us.
Yeah, I could. My spider sense was tingling, and it wasn't good. My Peter tingles weren't
Peter
good.
Tingles
No.
weren't good.
No.
Well, the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes, that's probably not going to happen.
No.
Do you know that if you, even at its deepest point in the rivers of America, if you were an adult, you can stand up and still you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think it's 5 feet at its deepest.
So that means that the Columbia and Mark Twain have a very low trim.
Very true. So the Davy Crockett Explorer Canoes is a free-floating canoe experience at several Disney theme parks. The oldest of the rides is located, of course, at Disneyland.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Do you know what it's considered part of? Which land is considered part of?
Frontierland.
Good guess. Incorrect. Critter Country.
That is, I guess Davy Crockett wears a critter on his head.
So it's actually one of only 2 attractions in Disneyland to be in 3 different lands without ever being moved. Because it was originally called, oh boy, I'm sorry. The Indian War Canoes. The attraction opened on July 4th, 1956, Independence Day.
Yeah.
In 56. So a lot of people think this is an opening day attraction. It's not. It is just under a year.
It feels like it should be, but I think they were still building Rivers of America.
They were, yeah. It was part of Frontierlands at the time. Indian Village expansion with real American Indian guides aboard every canoe.
Oh no.
Guests used a D ticket to ride the attraction.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The Indian War Canoes closed with the Indian Village in 1971 and then reopened on May 19th as Davy Crockett's Explorer Canoes, inspired by the Davy Crockett miniseries, and the guides were now wearing at that point the coonskin caps.
Right.
It became a part then of Bear Country, home of the Country Bear Jamboree, because that section of the park was open in 1972. The area was later just renamed Critter Country in 1989, which was then part of Splash Mountain and the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. In 1998, the canoes closed suddenly. However, they were closed from October till June, and then they just reopened again. I don't know. But I think they were kind of seeing if they'd be missed or not. No one really knows why they closed, but that's kind of the conjecture. Yeah. Davy Crockett's Explorer canoes operate typically only on busy days, summer, weekends, holidays,
and
like
weather
that.
dependent and
Totally.
stuff. Like if it's too hot, you can't. And if it's too rainy or too windy or stuff like that, it is still a canoe, even though what the guests do is probably not that important.
Right. So up to 20 visitors can paddle the canoe, but it is accompanied, like you said, by 2 guides, one in the front, one in the back, who are typically able to power the canoe by themselves. It is the only Disneyland attraction actually powered by park visitors, although, like we said, kinda.
Kinda.
Yeah. So in Magic Kingdom, they've actually lost their Davy Crockett Explorer canoes. It was in Frontierland, and they were removed in 1994. They opened in 71, closed in 94.
Well, that's a big fail from our Magic Kingdom friends.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. So this is just before that movement into Critter Country, which happened in 72. In
bring them back.
Yeah,
you can do it. It's not that hard. Just bring them back.
Small footprint, by the way. Mm-hmm. Tokyo Disneyland, they are called the Beaver Brothers Explorer canoes because they have a lot more storytelling, like threads woven throughout. And that one is operating. That's the one I was telling you about. So we were talking before about YouTubers that we really like.
Yeah.
We frequently watch Provost Park Pass.
Absolutely.
He is a massive fan of the canoes.
Yeah.
And remember how I said, I watched a video of him? It was Tokyo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Tokyo. So his video, he's there celebrating the anniversary, and he goes on the canoes right away, and it is one of the most Disney moment YouTube things I've ever seen. Like, almost rivaling reopening of Disneyland. And, like, the YouTubers that we watched, their reaction to that was the same kind of level of just, like, sheer Disney happiness. Just
endearing cast member
just fantastic
interaction. Yeah,
okay. For the canoes, of all things, right? So they do have Critter Country there, and it is part of Critter Country. Disneyland Park Paris, they have removed. They closed in 1994 after only being open for 2 years.
Yeah.
That was a part of Frontierland. But, of course, in Disneyland Paris, they, like we talked about before when we did our look at Disneyland Paris, they tried to recreate. It didn't really work, so they kind of retooled everything.
I can see European / especially the French, not wanting to paddle a canoe. I don't know.
Totally. However, they are opening in Shanghai. They are open still and operating in Shanghai Disneyland. They opened in 2016, and the area that they're part of is called Treasure Cove, and they're called the Explorer Canoes. Not Davy Crockett, because of course they're like,
Treasure Cove sounds piratey to me.
That's true. Each canoe is 35 feet long. I'm talking mostly about Disneyland now. There's variances from the other parks.
It's a big old canoe is what it is, yeah.
And it's fiberglass, 2 per row. And the guides now are dressed as Frontiers people. Thank you for changing the theming on that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Riders and rowers are given a short...
Unless they were actual American natives.
They were.
And were wearing like traditional garb. That'd be kind of cool if they like embraced like legit stuff like that.
So they were originally they were.
Yes,
they actually were.
So the Indian village, quote unquote, in Disneyland actually has some pretty good historical accuracy and representation of actual American natives, which was a good idea, but it was also, I don't know. It kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies a little bit. So.
Yeah, it was like they were doing some cool stuff, but they weren't like, they
were doing the best they could at the time.
Yep.
You need it's an important part of North American history, and you should explore that a little bit. But maybe Disney is not the best place to be doing it either.
Also that. But if you've ever wanted to be like, hey, I want to row a canoe with zero risk or anything like that, in education we call when you try and get a kid to try something, you say, oh, it's this is a low risk activity.
Yeah.
This is a low risk activity, but makes you feel like, cool, I'm doing something kind of fun.
It's a real canoe, but very low risk.
Yeah. So us who have gone canoeing and stuff like that, it's whatever.
That was slightly higher risk.
Yes, definitely.
Not high risk, but slightly higher.
Yeah. So rowers and riders, or whatever you want to call them, are given a short lesson on how to paddle the canoe, and you're basically the power here. They can power it, but you're not maneuvering at all or anything like that. You're just providing some power. You're helping them out, basically.
Yeah, you're helping them out. Like, if every single person's on the canoe spontaneously broke their arm and couldn't move anymore, they could get you back to port.
They could.
It would be fine.
It would be fine. Might be slightly slower than you want, but it's going to happen.
But, yeah.
Small children are required to wear life jackets, and life jackets are also available for adults who cannot swim in the event the boat does capsize. But like we said, stand up. So actually, someone did once drown in the rivers of America, and it's like it was a panic thing, and that's the whole thing. It's like if you had stood up, it was an adult, and it was like or a teenager maybe, if you had stood up, they would have been fine, but they did not because they panicked, right?
I mean, panic is a powerful thing. You could drown in an inch of water.
Yeah, I was with a couple girlfriends of mine, and we were hanging out near a river, and someone got caught in going down a little bit, and she was like absolute panicking, and then we finally said stand up. It was 3 feet deep, right? But it was like she had slipped on a rock, and so it was like floundering, and it was moving very fast. Stood up, so embarrassed, of course, and we're like, no, it's cool, like it's fine, like I get it, you're like out of control all of a sudden. So if you're someone who can't swim and you would feel like definitely life jackets are available for you. Like don't let that deter you.
Yeah, it can be it can be like a safety blanket type of situation.
100%. The canoe travels 2,400 feet, that's 730 meters, around Tom Sawyer's Island. And the guides point out the sights along the way, like the settler's cabin, the chief on horseback. The ride's length depends on how fast the paddlers are and how much traffic is on the river. So that's basically your only... what you're helping is how fast you move.
You got to avoid the Columbia, you got to avoid the Mark Twain. And you got to see the sights, and I don't know.
So there's not really there's no tracks. First of all, this is literally a canoe.
No, it's a real
thing.
It's real deal Holyfield.
And it says that there's not a predetermined path to follow, but I mean there's like a basic general idea. When they say that, they mean there's not like an exact path to follow. Like go this direction is what they're doing, right?
Yeah, they go in the circle, but no track. Nope,
nothing like that.
And yeah, it's free form with how good the paddlers are, I guess.
Yeah. So it actually typically travels much faster than the large boats like the Mark Twain riverboat or the sailing ship Columbia. So if you want a little tour on the river and you're like, ooh, I don't want to spend however much time on one of those boats, jump on the canoe. There's probably not a lineup anyway.
Because, I mean, you haven't walked enough.
No, you haven't walked enough, and you probably had like several too many churros.
Or is
there such a thing as too many churros?
If you want to work off all your churros that you've earned.
All your what?
Your well-earned churros.
Your well-earned...
Churros!
So both the Mark Twain riverboat and the sailing ship Columbia ride along submerged tracks and return by the last bend of the upcoming Tiana's Bayou Adventure, so which was Splash Mountain. But the canoes just kind of like make their way around, and they kind of work around the bigger boats, basically.
Yeah.
The attraction does operate year-round on busy days, year-round on all weekends, weather dependent, of course. Includes weekdays during the busy seasons, which, of course, when we go, so we've always seen them operating. And they generally close at dusk to prepare for, well, when it's running, Fantasmic.
Why? What happens?
Yeah,
You know what'd be cool? Paddling those canoes through the fire of Fantasmic.
Oh,
that'd be fun.
Too soon.
No.
Too soon.
I mean, like the planned fires, not the unplanned fires. I don't know. I think you've kind of convinced me.
We've never had a problem doing it. We've never done it.
It's just it's kind of like a time thing. It's like, do I want to go on a canoe ride in Disneyland, or do I want to, I don't know, go on Haunted Mansion again, right?
Right. I'm always going to pick Haunted Mansion.
Right. But you've kind of convinced me. I kind of want to do it.
I kind of want to try it, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the thing where it says it's actually quick, because I always thought it would take longer.
I could see it being quicker. Mark Twain's pretty slow. Mark Twain's really slow.
But I don't know. I think that's kind of cool.
It's don't get me wrong. Mark Twain's relaxing and a neat experience, but it's very slow.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's kind of cool that they're in so many other parks, or they have been in so many other parks. I understand that some of them closed, but I think they're very... You know what? I think the Canoes are super underrated.
Bring them back. They provide kinetic energy.
Did you ever watch Davy Crockett?
Davy Crockett? No.
King of the Wild Frontier.
I've only ever heard the theme song.
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad found them for me. Mm-hmm. Actually, they were part of the Masterpiece collection. And that was the first time I watched them, and I watched them all. They're great. I'm surprised it wasn't an opening day attraction. That was actually one thing that I would have lost money on. I would have bet money on that.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have guessed it wasn't.
Just because they were so slow with Rivers of America area?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. But the show, like, you watch the show, is the last episode at the Alamo, or...
Oh, yeah. So it's very clearly when you watch the last... I don't... No spoilers here from this 50s show. But it's very clearly when you're watching the last show, that is the last show.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all I'm saying.
It was at the Alamo, wasn't it?
I'm just saying it was.
Okay. Hey, at the end of the Titanic, the boat sinks. Like,
Okay. Brandon. We're going to play 2 games.
Oh boy, I like games.
Okay. Before we
Texas Hold'em. No limit.
Before we get into the game, game number 1 is you're going to be our mixologist.
Oh, well, this is a fun game. I like this game.
This is easy.
Again, I put the fun in functional alcoholic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you already said I've convinced you to ride the Canoes.
Okay.
Okay. I totally think we should do this. I'm going to be in Disneyland before you are. Would you be sad if I rode them without you?
Kinda.
You know what's honestly, it's probably not going to happen.
Well, you're
underrated.
You're planning to go with your family, and no offense to anyone, but I don't see your family wanting to ride the Davy Crockett.
No, so you said, am I going to do that or am I going to do Haunted Mansion again? We're doing Haunted Mansion again.
Your family's big Haunted Mansion fans, so
or that area, right? Like if you're walking by, you're like, "Hey, Winnie the Pooh is down here. Why am I stopping here?"
Winnie
at
the
Davy
Pooh,
Crockett?
Haunted Mansion.
Let's
if
just
it was
say,
open, Splash Mountain.
Yeah. So as an example, I've been to Disneyland several times now. Most of those times have been with my family, and I've never been on Davy Crockett. What does that tell you?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
No,
okay.
I don't
you have
see
to
it.
like.
I don't see it.
Right. You have to make a specific plan. We are going to do Davy Crockett. We almost said we were going to when we went in April, and then it was really really hot that day, and no one was going on the Canoes, and the guy was like, "Come on, come on."
The poor guides were like, "Hey guys,"
and we're like, "Oh no.
Look at my watch. Look at my wrist.
Oh my, look at my wrist. That's not the time. Oh look, Haunted Mansion has air conditioning.
Yeah. Really good air conditioning because it's supposed to be cold. Ghost.
Yeah. All right, so this is gonna be easy for you. You're gonna invent the Davy Crockett. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you the name of the drink. The name of the drink is the King of the Wild Frontier.
Okay.
All right, that's the next line of the song.
You're probably not gonna like this one.
Okay, but we're gonna have to eventually try these, so you're gonna have to be the one who drinks it. So just remember that.
No, this one's for you.
You said I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah, you're probably not. But okay, we're gonna start with a root beer liqueur, kind of like sarsaparilla.
I like your idea. Okay.
And a bourbon whiskey.
Oh no.
And
you lost me.
It's gonna be in like a little tumbler glass, an ounce and a half of your sarsaparilla liqueur, and a half ounce of your bourbon whiskey.
Ugh. With ice?
Yeah, on the rocks for sure.
So the ice can melt and help this situation.
It's gonna be like a punch in the face root beer whiskey thing.
A burning root beer, basically.
Burning,
what's gonna happen here. That does sound like a King of the Wild Frontier.
Absolutely, like wild turkey, maybe.
Okay, you know what? You're right. I'm probably not gonna like it, but I'm willing to try this. Actually, it sounds exactly like what the King of the Wild Frontier would sound like. If Davy Crockett was a drink, this is what he would be.
I'm a pretty good mixologist. I don't want to have this drink. I don't like root beer flavor or sarsaparilla flavor, but it's Davy Crockett as a drink.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually not mad at it. It sounds exactly like what I would expect Davy Crockett to taste like. as a drink.
I don't have any preparation on this. This is all...
I know. It's like literally off the top of your head. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're also going to play a game because this is a little bit of a shorter episode. Pick a Disney movie from each decade and we'll reveal which underrated Disney character you are. So this is one we haven't done, but Davy Crockett is one of the options. That's literally why it's on here. You might not pick it.
Is Basil of Baker Street on here?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Okay, so first of all, pick a short film or movie from the 1930s. Here are your options.
Geez, okay.
Silly Symphony, Flowers and Trees.
That's a good one.
Silly Symphony, The Tortoise and the Hare. Oh, sorry. The Flowers and Trees is from 1932. Tortoise and the Hare is from 1935. Mickey Mouse, The Clock Cleaners, 1937. The Old Mill, 1937. Oh, I know. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. Or Ferdinand and the Bull, 1938.
Okay, Ferdinand and the Bull's pretty good. Tortoise and the Hare is pretty good. And I like Snow White as like the first full-length animated feature.
I know what you're
But
doing.
it's The Old Mill.
I know.
Like,
You literally said that's your favorite.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Pick a movie from the 1940s. Pinocchio from 1940. Fantasia from 1940. Dumbo from 1941. The Reluctant Dragon from 1941. Bambi 1942. Three Caballeros from 1945. Miracle on 34th Street, the original from 1947. Melody Time 1948, or The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad 1949.
What are you doing with me, 1940s? Holy cow!
Some crazy things in here, hey?
The original Miracle on 34th Street is so good. Fantasia is a masterpiece.
Yeah, but would you not say that about Pinocchio, Bambi, Dumbo?
Bambi is beautiful, and Dumbo's fine. I have my problems with elephants, so you know. Pinocchio's very good and like surprisingly dark. But
True.
It's Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
I'm not surprised you picked that. Honestly, it's so good. I rewatched it a couple Halloweens ago, and I was just like floored by how good it was.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, like Mr. Toad's cool and it's like a cool ride at Disneyland and everything like that, but like The Legend of Sleepy Hollow
shockingly
is
good.
So
and you know
good.
What?
It's so un-Disney.
I know. I used to watch it all the time as a kid because it would just come on almost every Halloween, like all September and October, right, on the Disney Channel or whatever. And my we didn't have TV, like cable. So my grandma would record Saturday morning cartoons, and that would always show up because they'd have like these shorts and stuff.
I had it on a VHS.
On a VHS, like a recorded VHS.
I replayed that
and
one
I didn't, but
so much.
I used to watch it so much. Or when I stayed with my grandma and grandpa, of course. And I didn't even realize until I watched this an adult. I was like, wow, this is really dark.
Oh yeah, so dark, and that's why I liked it.
I read it a couple of years ago too, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't believe I watched this all the time as a kid.
Yeah, no, I was always into the darkness somehow. I don't know.
The darkness.
Pick
a movie from the 1950s: Cinderella, 1950; Treasure Island, 1950; Alice in Wonderland, 1951; Peter Pan, 1953; 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1954; Lady and the Tramp, 1955; Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, 1955. Old Yeller, 1957.
Oh, nope. That's a nope.
And Sleeping Beauty, 1959.
Old Yeller's beautiful, but my poor delicate heart can't take it.
Fair
I'm into dark stuff, but when
animals, fair.
When you have dog death, nope.
So what are you picking?
Wait, what was the first?
Cinderella.
It was Cinderella. Yeah, it's Cinderella.
I figured you were either going to go Cinderella
Jacques
or
and
Sleeping
Gus
Beauty.
are excellent, and yeah, Cinderella is one of my favorite classic princesses.
I like that. And shout out always to the dress transformation scene. Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation.
Beautiful animation.
Also, So This Is Love was one of our wedding songs. And we just were saying it was an anniversary, so... We also, if you ever want to hear how to incorporate some like sneaky Disney stuff without having a Disney wedding, we have an episode on that.
Yeah, you could do it, and it could be classy.
Yeah, we didn't have a Disney wedding, but we definitely had some Disney nods.
There's just like some nods, like Disney fans, and
yeah, totally. Pick a movie from the 1960s. The Sign of Zorro, 1960.
Whoa.
Black and white and everything. Swiss Family Robinson, 1960. We should rewatch this when the treehouse opens.
We that can be another deep dive. The treehouse in its various incarnations. Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, that was a good brainwave.
Good. Yes. Remember that. 101 Dalmatians, 1961. The Absent-Minded Professor, 1961. The Sword and the Stone, 1963. Hot take, Merlin sucks.
He's a jerk.
Mary Poppins, 1964.
Okay, yeah.
The Sound of Music, 1965. The Jungle Book, 1967. Or The Love Bug, 1968.
Oh, Herbie. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. The 60s were good, too.
I know exactly what I would pick.
Dang. Okay, can I look at the list again? Just real quick.
I have all 9 of them there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is tough. I really liked, Herbie was... I don't think you've appreciated or seen Herbie.
I've never seen Herbie.
I really liked it.
You should make that one of my blind dates.
Yeah, I could. That works. And The Sound of Music, of course, is like just Oscar-worthy perfection.
Well, it won Oscars.
Yeah,
so.
and like should have.
Dame Julie Andrews can do no wrong ever.
But we're a Disney podcast, so that's only tertiary
Speaking
Disney.
Of Julie Andrews, are you gonna pick Mary Poppins?
No.
I would pick Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is great. Sword in the Stone's kind of underrated, but again, Merlin sucks. The Absent-Minded Professor, the original is actually like the Eddie Murphy version is better, I think.
Oh, I really liked the Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor, yeah.
I actually like that. I watched that one first too, so.
I'm gonna go with 101 Dalmatians.
I'm actually not surprised.
Yeah.
I'd go with Mary Poppins, but I'm not surprised you didn't. Now I'll pick a movie from the 1970s. The Aristocats, 1970. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, 1971.
Okay.
Robin Hood, 1973.
Okay.
Escape to Witch Mountain, 1975.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday, 1976. The Rescuers, 1977.
Ow.
Star Wars: A New Hope, 1977.
Okay.
It's owned by Disney.
Okay.
It is owned by Pete's Dragon, 1977, or The Muppet Movie, 1979.
I want to pick Robin Hood really badly, but you put Star Wars on it. Like, no, it's Star Wars. I'm sorry.
I honestly thought it was Robin Hood until I saw Star Wars, and I was like, well, never mind.
No. Like that. No.
Okay, well, now you're screwed because pick a movie from the 1980s. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, The Fox from 1980, The Fox and the Hound 1981, Tron 1982.
Oh, Tron.
Star Wars: Return of the Jedi 1983, The Black Cauldron 85, Who Framed Roger Rabbit 1988, Oliver and Company 1988, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 1989, Little Mermaid 1989.
I have a question.
Yes.
From the back of the class.
All right.
I put my hand up.
Yeah, okay.
Where's Indiana Jones?
Not on this list.
Yeah. If you're talking 80s movies.
I understand. I did not make the BuzzFeed quiz, Brandon. I didn't make it.
If you're gonna put Star Wars in there, where's Indy? Where's Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade?
We were just talking about how Indy does not get the love it deserves.
Yeah.
What are you picking?
It's Empire, but there's a lot of good movies on that list.
Begrudgingly.
Okay, so
you went on a whole diatribe last week about Roger Rabbit not getting the love it deserves.
It doesn't. Mm-hmm. That would be my second. That would be my second choice, Roger Rabbit.
And when we did the draft, you had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids so far.
That would be my third choice because that's a fantastic.
Above Little Mermaid?
Oh, absolutely.
Above Return of the Jedi?
Yes.
Above Black Cauldron?
Return of the Jedi is like by far the worst of the original trilogy, by far.
Above Tron. I know you like Tron.
I love Tron. The
80s were amazing, and also Oliver and Company, so underrated.
The 80s was
Billy Joel,
one of the best decades for A, music in general, and B, movie. The 80s had some amazing movies.
Yeah, I just taught a whole class where we were like talking about the summer blockbuster for a very long time, and we watched. Well, ended with Indiana Jones. Quite frankly,
they invented the blockbuster
because of
in
Jaws.
the 70s, and the 80s embraced it, and the 80s was like just a golden age for
Totally.
big blockbuster movies.
All right, so you're picking Empire.
Yeah.
1990s, man. You thought the last thing was difficult.
90s is going to be tough.
Beauty and the Beast, 1991. The Newsies, 1992. Aladdin, 1992. Hocus Pocus, 1993. The Lion King, 1994. Are you crying?
Yeah.
The Santa Claus, 1994.
Yeah.
Pocahontas, 1995.
Nah.
Toy Story, 1995. Hercules, 1997. Flubber, 1997. Oh, that's the Absent-Minded Professor one.
Yes.
Yeah. Mulan, 1998. And the Lindsay Lohan, Parent Trap, 1998.
Shockingly good. Like,
do you know I've never seen it?
really?
I loved the Haley Mills one. I loved the original, which didn't make this list, by the way.
The Lindsay Lohan one is very...
Maybe I'll watch it this summer. It's a very summery movie.
It is. It's a summer camp. They meet at summer camp.
Well, I understand. Like, it's a complete remake of the Haley Mills one, which I loved. Where's Pollyanna, by the way, on this list? Where's the original Parent Trap?
I don't know, but the Lindsay Lohan version is very good, and Lindsay Lohan does a very good job. Like, she's very young, and she's like before she went crazy and all that.
What are you picking?
Do
you want me to click on it right now?
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah,
I know what you're picking. Yeah, I know what you're picking on this one.
But like, I want to pick Lion King, but it's Beauty.
Yeah. Toy Story deserves
a
crazy shout out.
Toy Story, yeah. But why?
2000s.
This is horrible. I don't like this at all.
The Emperor's New Groove, 2000. Remember the Titans, 2000.
Oh.
Monsters, Inc., 2001. The Princess Diaries, 2001. Lilo and Stitch, 2002. Holes, 2003.
Shia LaBeouf.
The Lizzie McGuire Movie, 2003. Finding Nemo, 2003. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003. The Incredibles, 2004. Sky High, 2005. Up, 2009.
Okay.
Just
calm down.
Just want me to click on it.
It's Pirates, but
special shout out to Up.
Yeah.
But you're picking Pirates anyway.
But it's Pirates, yeah.
And finally,
my goodness,
2010s.
This is horrible. I don't like this at all.
From 2010, Toy Story 3. 2010, Tangled. 2012, Brave. 2012, Wreck-It Ralph. 2013, Frozen. 2014, Big Hero 6. 2015, Inside Out. 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens. 2016, Zootopia. 2016, Moana. 2017, Coco. 2019, Avengers Endgame.
Wow, okay, so they saved me because it's not Infinity War.
Yeah. Agreed. I loved Endgame, but it's Infinity War every day of the week.
Oh, yes. Wow. Okay, the 2010s was really tough. That's horrible. That's absolutely ridiculous. But it's Toy Story 3.
Ooh, I honestly didn't know what you were gonna. I've known what you were gonna pick every single one except this one.
No, I had to forego original Toy Story, but
I just saw which character it says you are.
Oh no.
Which underrated Disney character are you based on your choices? You are Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Well, I am Hungarian, so
that's true.
I got a little gypsy blood in me, so you know.
Your personality matches Esmeralda. You are passionate, protective, and sassy. Like Esmeralda, you are free-spirited, and you go wherever adventure leads you.
True.
You are strong and confident, and you want to leave your mark on this world.
You know what? I'm not mad at that at all, and Esmeralda's super hot, so what can you do, eh?
So I was watching a thing and it was like problematic Disney characters, and Esmeralda, it was like a complicated one, that list, because she doesn't get the love she deserves, but also she was like highly the hypersexualization of her character is problematic because that really feeds into like stereotypes of gypsies with a capital G on this.
Yes,
and the Romani.
And but that was also kind of the point of the story.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah.
Like,
but
yeah,
it's like,
tough.
Yeah,
it's
no,
tough.
I get it. I get it. So anyway, it was interesting.
It's just this tough story that wouldn't get made today.
Yeah. Probably the darkest Disney movie that's ever been made, and that includes Black Cauldron in that list.
Yeah. Black Cauldron's just like creepy, like mystical stuff, and
Frollo is disgusting.
Frollo is just like realistic, creepy dude. Like to this day, there's people like that. So
probably more than there was when this movie was made.
Yeah. So yeah. No,
On
I'm not mad at that.
note,
I'm not.
You didn't pick Davy Crockett from the 50s.
No, I didn't. I didn't at all. That was worse than our draft that we had to do.
Do you know what's
bracket.
Fun? Is I don't answer these things. I just ask you.
That was horrible.
You should get me to do these sometime. I think it's fun. Because I'm asking you.
Like, I feel gross. I need to go take a shower or something.
Because you picked some favorites you didn't want to pick?
Well,
You know Beauty and the Beast was going to win the 90s. I don't know what else you were doing.
Yeah, but actually, you know what? The 80s was tough. Surprisingly, the hardest was the 2010s.
That's because of Big Hero 6.
Yes!
And Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen, which, I know it's not your favorite thing, but you can't argue that it's not good.
I will defend Frozen
totally
every day.
Big people's biggest complaint about it is that it's really good. So
it's
okay.
so good.
Yeah. So anyway, that was fun. You are not Davy Crockett though. You are Esmeralda.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it.
I like it.
I'll embrace that.
I really want to sing the Davy Crockett theme song. I'm not going to, but I probably will as soon as we stop recording.
No, he's the king of the wild frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything to add for the Davy Crockett? The king of the wild frontier is the drink you invented as well.
I'm kind of curious to taste it. I'm not gonna like it.
No, you're not.
You might like it though.
We'll
get some smooth bourbon for you.
Ugh.
And
if you try this drink, let us know. Okay, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Also, if you are from, what is the name of the place?
Gulf Breeze.
If you're from Gulf Breeze and you try this drink, definitely let us know.
Yeah, you know what? You're in a cool coastal town. You probably need a strong drink. Hurricane season's coming up.
No. Well, that is our show this week. Thank you, El Mule, who's responsible for the custom theme song you heard at the top of the show. You can find a link to his work at our website, which is disneya.wixsite.com/podcast. That's also where you can find links to our email, as well as social media. We are currently on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram is the easiest way to get a hold of us. You can also find us through all of your favorite podcast streaming platforms, as well as our YouTube channel, Adventures A. If you've rated or reviewed our podcast, thank you. And if you haven't yet, please do. If you know someone who might like listening to us, be sure to recommend Disney A as well, especially if you want your town to get a Better Know a Listener shout out, because that's how we notice you.
And the more people from your town that listen, the more likely I'm going to see your town.
Or if you leave a review.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll read your review on air.
On air.
I don't know what we're doing for the next episode. I think we're going to do another Disney park look, but I don't know which one yet.
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
We're on vacation right now.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
I got short timer syndrome right now. I'm not thinking about the future.
So we have no idea about anything. But until that next adventure, you know what? That's an adventure in and of itself. Not knowing. So I'm Krysta.
And I'm Brandon.
Till the next adventure, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Thanks for listening to Disney A. I really want to sing the Davy Crockett theme song. I'm not going to, but I probably will as soon as we stop recording.
No, he's the king of the wild frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah.